We'll start the session with my opening remarks, then we'll go to the other panelist. The topic is technology, education, and NEP. My dear friends, the way the technology is revolutionary, we need to bring a lot of changes in our education system. In fact, knowledge, intelligence were making human beings smarter, but now technology is making machines smarter. This is where, and the biggest threat is knowledge is becoming automation. Lot of revolutionary, like the wonderful Kiran Bedi said, she started with ChatGPT. How many of you know that the next thing, see how these big giants like Microsoft, Google plays. Google 2 days back launched Bard. Can you believe last night, Microsoft gave back to Google saying that we are launching the next generation ChatGPT. Totally becoming outdated, making outdated Bard. Google is taking a back step. This is where the technology is moving. The quantum computing, the parallel reality, the Web 3.0 technology, all these are making a revolutionary in education system. In fact, today, the world, we need to prepare our India for the future. In fact, the future study says 82% of the jobs which our students are going to work in 2030 are yet to be created. Are we preparing our students to those? That's my question. Right now, 33.2% of the youngsters who are working are doing jobs nothing related to their degree. So these are the few things. We need to really develop our technology, make sure that we need to bring some huge changes in the learning system. In fact, today the knowledge is becoming in fingertips. I don't know how many of you know that. The Google Talk to Books, I don't know how many of you are using it, Google Talk to Books. The knowledge is in your fingertips. So when you have those type of things, we need to really develop. In fact, our Prime Minister and the National Education Policy have established a National Technology Forum. But very sorry to say this, we have never enhanced this National Technology Forum by updating all the technology and skill sets which a student and the faculty requires. In fact, I'm really sorry to tell you, I visited one of the top universities to address the top faculties which is under 50 rank in NARF. Can you believe it? And I was addressing to most of the PhDs. None of them, not even one single professor was knowing about the technology what I'm talking. Now, this is the sad state of affairs. Now, we need to bring, I'm very happy that National Education Conclave by the Indian Express should be the first step to make sure that we prepare our children in the future. And the National Education Policy is wonderful, very good in point of view, with the students' point of view, but I still think that many of the institutions have never realized the challenges they are going to have if the NEP is implemented completely. There's going to be a lot of change. Why I'm saying this? Because in future, the students are going to learn, prepare, not from one institution, from different platforms in the same academic year. So that is going to be the biggest challenge for the institute. Anyway, we'll start with the two big panelists. Sir, my question to you is, how do you change this technology is going to have an impact in our learning system?
Now, technology today is having three important aspects. Why this complete technology in education and education technology, these worlds are coming at this point of time is fast computing devices availability. The generation to which we are interested in teaching, they are techno-savvy. They are 21st millennium generation. Data storage, processing, retrieving the data has enhanced like anything. And that is the reason why the technology in education has come to the place today and not 15 years back. So that is the basic reason in development of the technology. But still it's a very new area. Now in what way technology will impact? I would like to say that we will have to reimagine our education, our classroom, physical classroom to online classroom. Bricks and mortars will change to bits and bytes. The role of faculty from information transformation to learning facilitator, and content of education will change from material content to digital content. So this is the very important impact of technology in education. Now, what does it mean practically? Honorable Professor is here, who is a coordinator of SWAYAM, and you will find that 3 crores of students has enrolled on SWAYAM platform just to take online courses. Now, the students will have choice to design their aspirations and the courses, because that is another important aspect of the education NEP 2020, what future lies. Flexibility is the buzzword of the National Education Policy 2020, and students will opt for choice of subjects depending upon their career aspirations. Now, in that case, the technology will play a very important role. So your question is how technology will impact. I will have to tell 3 points. First, teaching learning. Second point, making networking access to the students. And the third point is education administration. May it be HEC Act, there are 4 verticals of HEC Act. Due to the technology, the efficiency and transparency of the 4 verticals will increase. So this is the way technology is going to impact in coming future. So teaching and learning, I will add upon the teaching and learning bit later, because there is a difference between technology in education and education technology. So I feel that 3 areas are very predominantly will get impacted due to the technology. And we have experienced COVID. Just imagine if the online education was not there, what would have the situation of the education and overall administration of this country? That's why the word was coined new normal. No doubt, there will be some limitation about this new normal also, as you have very correctly pointed out. But see, whenever we have any new thing which is coming up, judiciously we have to think and accept the good things and screened out the bad effects. So that is the human judgment is very important, and that human judgment will be done by the teachers who has got direct contact with the student in front of him face to face. So that is the way the technology will impact the education in coming future.
Sir, I would like to ask you, because you've been in SWAYAM, do you think that the hybrid mode of learning, teaching will be the future?
So, thanks once again for inviting me. Thanks to New India Express for calling me for this panel. Let me just take a step back before I answer that specific question on what I think technology and hybrid will do in education. I think it's important to always look at higher education from a high level to understand what the gap is, where the problem is. Today we have about 90 lakh children every year joining undergraduate education. A very small fraction goes to the top IITs. IITs are dream institutions. We still take less than 20,000 a year among all the IITs put together, while about 12 lakh write JEE, and there's this huge frustration in admission, right? You don't know where to go and join, and so many people end up getting frustrated. And then even if you look at public universities, private universities, they account for about 12–13% of the enrollments today. A huge majority ends up in college. 80 to 85% are in what we call colleges, and there's variety there, levels are different there. That's the reality today. While we're talking about technology and all that, reality is that today. And there's this big aspirational group of people about which people were mentioning earlier, and access to IITs and the top educational institution today is actually not there for them. Why you have to spend lakhs for coaching? You can look at it. I mean, there are places where people start coaching in 3rd standard today. That's the reality. So someone who's aspirational cannot even think of getting into an IIT. So if you look at this big picture in this large scale, what do? What should you do in the next 10 years? We're not going to be able to suddenly spend 10% of our GDP on education and build all these campuses. That's not going to happen, right? So it's going to happen much more slowly. We have to wait for the economies to build up. Most states have to become trillion-dollar economies for all that. What do you do in the immediate term for doing high quality, large scale, low cost higher education in the country? At least to me, the solution is obvious, and the only solution you can think of is online. Online has its limitations. It's got a lot of flack. A lot of people think online is easy. Online is less rigorous. Online is not dependable. The IITM in particular, IITs together have come together and shown that that's not true. Today, NPTEL is a model that so many people use for credit transfer in institutions. 20 years we've been running the NPTEL project. So many governments, successively ministries have supported us on this. Lakhs and lakhs of students have benefited, crores of students have benefited from that. We do it rigorously, we do it sincerely, rigorously. We just don't, put the content out there and forget about the students. We engage with them very closely. 3 years ago, armed with this kind of strength, IITM started an online BS degree today, right, in data science. Today, you have access to the topmost institution in the country, at least as per NARF, and you can get a degree from there. All you have to do is work hard, be sincere. You don't need to do lakhs of rupees for coaching. The tuition fee itself, in fact, the whole degree costs less than 3.5 lakhs, less than $5,000 today. So we are able to do it at that cost. How are we doing on quality? You can look at the numbers. About 1 lakh students applied to this program so far in 3 years. About 20,000 or so qualified. There is a small qualification step. And still 17,000 are with us today. So in online, we're able to retain, we're able to engage, and we're able to keep up the quality. You can talk to our students. They'll all say, this is a tough program. It's not easy. We thought online will be easy. It's not easy. You can't just pass. All exams are in person. We engage with them 8 hours a day online. We have student fests on campus. So we're able to show that there is a model within the next 5 to 10 years to meaningfully increase GER, provide access to aspirational people to the top institutes, and bring up the level of higher education in the country. So today it's possible, and I think you talked about hybrid. I'm just talking about online with a personal connect. Online with an engagement model which is very strong, has potential not just to educate, to really transform the country and meet the aspirations of students. That's something I strongly believe too.
But sir, you said 3.5 lakhs, but do you think how many of the middle level, lower middle class people can afford? That's the biggest.
So just
why my question is, why IIT should become like a commercial online institute? There's no need.
So there's that 3.5 lakhs is the total cost, but if your income level is less than 1 lakh, you have a 75% discount. So you pay less than 1 lakh for it. So the costs are quite less, and people are doing it. So the next question you asked is, why should IIT do it? Why can't somebody else do it? Well, nobody else is doing it right now, right? No, so if somebody else comes up and takes this up, maybe an IIT doesn't have to do it. Today, the quality and the reputation and the name and the brand is very important for that.
It's phenomenal, sir, because I know you're doing extremely great job, especially in the data science course, because you are one of the very few people who have included the few chapters which is not available in the regular engineering courses are available. We are really happy. But my next thing is, I would be very happy if we get some questions before we have the conclusion things. My dear friends, the way the technology and the educations are moving up, we need to make sure that the reskilling, upskilling should be affordable. In fact, we were the first people to tell even the union budget that why don't we, the bank, consider to give bank loan for online education. Still no proper regulations have started coming. We all need to put together, put our hands and make sure that at least from the next budget, there should be some regulation. We have only the education loan is coming only for the regular. Why not when the world is moving towards hybrid, why not we have some loan?
We have been successful. Actually, many of our students are able to get loans. So it is changing. It will take some time. I think you're right. It will be great to have budgetary provisions for it.
Yes, sir.
It'll be fantastic.
Now we need your support because we need all the educationists to talk about it. Yes, sir. My thing is, the Sridhar sir is there, great. He said that we are able to aspiration. Do you really think there is a political shade in NEP? Shade of colors.
Yeah, I personally don't feel there is a political shade in the NEP, because when the redrafting committee and the earlier committee was working on the national education policy, if you look at the level of consultations done by both the committee members, it is enormous. No doubt by chance, it has come to a particular period when a particular political party was at the helm of the affairs. But I am very much confident, and my personal opinion is, looking towards the tremendous deliberations by a number of organizations, universities, vice chancellors, teachers. I just don't remember, but when the first draft at 2019 was put by the redrafting committee under the leadership of Professor Dr. Kasturi Rangan, lakhs and lakhs of suggestions were poured on the internet. And so I don't believe that this is a policy of a particular political party. It's a policy of people, because for last 34 years, the things have changed. Common parents and students were aspiring for the changes in the education system, and actually NEP 2020 is the result of that. And last but not the least, many times in such deliberations, people ask that NEP is nothing but the Modi's policy. I am very much against this particular statement, because it is redrafted by an eminent scientist, former ISRO chairman, Kasturi Rangan, with a very fine deliberations and logistics. And so I feel that it is the policy of the common students, people's aspiration. So I don't feel anything about there is a political agenda or political shade in this national education policy.
Sir, last question to you, sir. Last question. Sir, the way the technology is moving, SWAYAM, why not people like you can bring very specialized courses for the faculty? For example, the IBM says they are going to launch the first super quantum computer with 4,000 qubits. I mean, unimaginable this speed. I knew that you started some course for the faculty. Why don't you throw open to even for the students? Because I know many students wants to come at in quantum computing, parallel reality. All these type of new upcoming technology, why not you have a separate...
We have a course on SWAYAM. There is a basic quantum computing course.
Yeah, no, basic.
It's a joint course.
I'm talking about for quantum, how the MIT brought in Twist programming language, how the Twist is really moving the programming language. Why not we bring it to our students?
So there is a course that's offered on SWAYAM today.
Okay.
IITM, in collaboration with IBM, offers that course. So students can go in and join that course, learn about quantum computing. Unfortunately, I think making the, up to code level you can write, but then running it on the computer, that time costs money, right?
The money,
so
yes.
That is a little bit more restricted, but if people who do well in the basic course, IBM is willing to support that as well. So today we have a course on this.
So thank you very much. You have any questions? Yes, sir.
I knew Vaidya would ask me.
Vaidya, yes, even I was expecting.
Question is to my good friend Professor Andrew. Now that the ICSR has hit the 1,000 crore target, any plans for SWAYAM to also move to a different model, competing against the Byju's and the other edtechs? I think SWAYAM has that capacity. So would you plan a similar model that can really unleash a potential that is hidden?
So there is a discussion going on in the ministry right now about digital university. It's at a fairly advanced stage. I don't know, maybe even in this session you may get a bill, who knows. And if that happens, then SWAYAM would have a firm offering for people at cost. So, and as that model evolves, it might become a little bit more stable.
So, I completely concur with the panel that the NEP's implementation has nothing to do with politics. Modi ji and NEP are different. But can I ask you, people who are opposing the NEP, is there a politics behind it? The states which are opposing NEP, is it politically motivated?
Yes, definitely there is, but we need to sort it out. The more the government sit and talk and sort it out, it will be better, because we always feel that we should have a uniform policy across India so that none of any one particular state student should suffer. So what you said right, yes, there is some politics. We hope that it gets sorted out and make sure that from the next 2024, the entire country follows NEP. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, it's, I still do not see millions of students in schools learning properly the computers. So years from now, you will still have a large bulge, aspirational, but not skilled. Why can't we address this basic? And these are very bright minds. They're hungry minds, curious minds, designing minds. How do we address that? So that when we don't have a bulge of illiteracy, computer illiterate, and again then come up only the skewing up of very little. Why don't we start working on the base? Many schools, even good schools, even paid for schools, still have a computer class 1 period a month, a week. And that too only just basics or very little. So can we address this now before it's getting too late? Who addresses this?
Ma'am, it has to be done, because why? That's why we educationists keep telling in the budget that please increase the GDP spending in education more to 6%. We are spending hardly about 2%. Only if we spend over 5%, we can bring all the possibility in the lower rural side. And that you rightly said, we need to do this, otherwise our rural students will stay back. Yes, I think she is very much correct. I think anybody else has to.
So one of the amazing things I've seen, we have 2 people working for us in our own office. They are coders. Both of them can speak only Tamil. They are from a very rural background, and I can tell you stories about them which you won't believe. I mean, really grown up in a village, and all of that is possible. So that clearly shows the capability to code and understand is there everywhere. It's just that we have to get there, and I think school education is the solution. We have to spend better at the school level, and coming up to college is already too late. I think somewhere at the school level we have to impact this process.
What Madam has said is very absolutely right. There is a gap between the group of people, or the, what you can say, there are high income group, low income group. If you just go by one small statistic which was published in 2019, only 14.9% of the rural India has internet facility, and 42.0% of urban India has internet facility. There is an issue of devices also. And so there is a disparity, agreed. And that's why we will have to fine-tune the solutions. But with this also, there is a large number of chunk which is aspirational, and so we cannot go for averaging. We will have to go for uplifting the facilities in the rural area at one hand. So for that, let there be the devices that should be designed with low cost. Now, in Mumbai, IIT Bombay has, say, 5 to 6 years back, developed one tab which is called as an Akash tab. And you know that in normal laptop, many functionalities are there which are not really required for the teaching learning process, and so its cost was almost 10,000 rupees of an Akash tab, and it went successfully. So what I feel that there will be multiple problems, so the solutions cannot be one straight jacket. We will have to start with the giving the facilities, devices, internet, capabilities, penetration to the rural area at one hand, but at the other hand, where there is a group of high income aspirational, for them also, ideally our ultimate aim should be advanced personalized learning, because individual learning capabilities and styles are different. So with the help of technology, can we put the technology to work and identify how advanced personalized learning can be done? And you all are aware that the IIT Bombay has started education technology course in Mumbai. SNDT has started education technology course. So the situation is different, but we will have to work out the solutions for each and every group. And then only we can bring the total mass towards the one minimum level. That's my point of view.
So thank you very much all. Hope this education conclave, there is a saying that longest journey starts with the first step. Hope the Indian Express conclave will be the first step towards the right direction to make our future students employable and make India a great country to live in. Thank you very much, Jai.